How is it going, everyone? In this video, I want to talk about another one of my more anticipated games of 2026. I know this one is a little bit divisive still, but I think this is one a lot of you guys should be excited for, and that is 007 First Light. It is coming from IO Interactive, the same developers behind the Hitman games, and it was actually supposed to be released in just a few weeks. However, it got pushed until May, but we do have some new details about the game that I do want to go over, give you guys a bit of an overview and some of the other elements to note. And do remember, if you do pre-order the game ahead of its May 27th release, you will get upgraded to the digital deluxe edition, and on top of that, you'll be able to play the game a day early from its regular release date. So we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first of all, 007 First Light is taking references from Batman Arkham and Uncharted for combat, and I will say this, every time I've seen gameplay of 007 First Light, I've gotten a lot of Uncharted vibes from it, and that's probably one of the reasons why I'm so excited for this game. As somebody that has Uncharted as one of their all-time favorite franchises, when I get those Uncharted vibes, I'm like, okay, I like this idea of this 007 earlier story, and then on top of that, you're giving me gameplay akin to Uncharted, at least taking inspiration from that, and I gotta say, I love the art style. The art style to me is a breath of fresh air relative to a lot of other games, and I don't need every game to look the same, and I feel like they found a unique style for 007 First Light that a lot of these elements coming together has me pretty excited. During a new interview with Game Informer, 007 First Light gameplay director Andreas Crow spoke about drawing inspiration from the Batman Arkham games for combat. Crow said that in the approach to close combat sequences, players will see references to the Arkham games, but there's also some modern takes on destructibility in the environment, which players would not have seen in Arkham, but in games like Uncharted. So you're taking some of the environmental effects of Uncharted, the combat of Batman Arkham, which, as far as standouts of Batman Arkham go, I think the combat is something that people always talk about. So again, that's a lot of great inspiration to have. Crow elaborated that IO Interactive has a deeper system as they want to do more of it in terms of shooting. Players will also see references from modern games, however, which games weren't exactly revealed. The developers had to explore this area since Hitman used combat as a last resort, and the area wasn't as deeply developed as the stealth experience, so they had to look outside to see how they could improve it. There is a lengthy 15-minute video on Game Informer's official channel that gives us a lot of insight in various aspects of the game, talking about range combat and the close quarter combat, the stealth experiences, and a lot of what they learned from their time with Hitman as well. Hitman being a really well done action stealth experience, obviously they're going to take some of that, put it into 007 First Light, or at least parlay their experiences with that, but also 007 is going to offer you more of an action-oriented experience, and you see a lot of that gameplay come through. There's a lot of explosions, and there are more gunfights and things of that nature, and you see some of those explosions come through, and that looks pretty impressive. Again, I love the visual style to this game. I think for what Bond is, telling a story like this, the aesthetics of this game, I think, look great, and it sets itself apart from a lot of other games. Also in the footage, you can see a lot of the gunplay transitioning into that close quarter combat, and I think you have a lot of that coming together. I think you have some of the stealth that IO Interactive is known for, but then with the gunplay into the close quarter combat, into a lot of the wild set pieces, explosions, and things of that nature, I think all of that coupled together can create a real worthwhile experience. Couple of other notes about 007 First Light. They noted on Twitter the 4th wishlist tier milestone is here, and thanks to your incredible support, we've blown well past 1.5 million wishlists and are now at over 2.2 million. Introducing the Gilded Tuxedo, transforming every entrance into a statement with the mission calls for an extra touch of flair and elegance. The outfit will be available and automatically added to your IOI account and will be made available at launch. Pre-order and unlock 24 hours early access and more exclusive content with the free deluxe edition upgrade. And I will give them this, I love that with the fake early access gimmick, they're doing it just that you have to pre-order the base game. It's really just coming out a day in advance, but you also get upgraded to the deluxe edition. Like, that's solid to me as far as the handling of that, and I do give them a lot of credit. If you don't know, there was reward milestones for the wish list. They had a unique skin as Milestone 1 for 500,000 wish lists. Milestone 2 was a silver tone Milestone gadget skin. Milestone 3 at 1.25 million was the Operation Reveria deluxe skin, and on top of that, a developer over AMA, and then 1.5 million is the Gilded Tuxedo. I don't know if they've got anything else left. The Gilded Tuxedo honestly looks pretty ridiculous, and the top reply on Twitter I think is hilarious. It's Peter Griffin with the same suit on. That's actually hysterical, but that's a free unique skin that will be available at launch. On top of that, there was some controversy around the PC system requirements, and they have clarified that. This happened a month and a half or so ago, but I do want to highlight that. They put out a note saying, "We are providing today an update to the PC system requirements for 007 First Light after the community flagged some inconsistencies in an earlier version of the listing." If you don't know, the earlier version of the listing had crazy system requirements, and on top of that, it listed video cards that didn't exist. So, not a good look for IO Interactive. The earlier mistake was due to an internal miscommunication leading to an older version of the specs to be shared. After a thorough re-examination and additional testing, the recommended RAM has been corrected from 32GB to 16GB of RAM. VRAM values have been updated, and the minimum CPU line has been fixed as well. Additional performance targets will be shared closer to launch. We're sorry for the confusion this caused and appreciate everyone who brought it to our attention. The updated specs are now live on our store pages, and we're looking forward to sharing more of 007 First Light with you ahead of launch. Specifications are as follow. For 1080p 30 frames per second, you're looking at an Intel Core i5-9500 or an AMD Ryzen 5 3500, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660, which is very much a relatively low-end GPU, all things considered. RX 5700 and 16GB of RAM. Video RAM is only 6GB, and then recommended that's for 1080p at 60 frames per second. Maybe upscaling will take you a little bit higher. i5 13500, Ryzen 5 7600, and RTX 3060 Ti, RX 6700 XT, and 16GB of RAM as well for recommended, and then 8GB of video RAM. So that's a pretty mid-level GPU, but again, if that's for 1080p 60 and we don't know the settings, hopefully they'll give us more insight into the exact specifications that we should expect across a wider array of resolutions and settings and things of that nature. Usually that comes closer to release. And before I get out of here, I do want to note that if you do pre-order 007 First Light, again, you do get upgraded to the Digital Deluxe Edition. I don't know if they're gonna sell the Deluxe Edition post-launch. I imagine they would, but as far as what you're gonna get, 24 hours of early access. You'll get 4 exclusive outfits, 1 new weapon skin, and the Gleaming Pack with a bunch of in-game stuff as well. You'll get the Gleaming Lighter, Gleaming Earphones, Gleaming Dart Gun, and Gleaming Pen, and you'll get the Agent's Mark weapon skin, like I said. You know, nothing that's too consequential, but, you know, even if it's innocuous, the fact is you're getting it for free if you do pre-order the game, so I do think that's a solid shout there. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, I'm really excited for 007 First Light dropping on May 27th, so still almost 3 months away, 2 months and change away, but another game to keep on your radar. The thing is, this is gonna be a $70 game, and I don't expect it to be like a 40-hour campaign, but you know what? I've said it before, I am all for more of these games like a Resident Evil Requiem that are all killer, no filler. Give me my quality 15 hours if the game is, and let me move on, and if it's a high quality enough game, I'll go back and I'll play through it again and again. I don't need these bloated games all the time. But that's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.